Yeah, good question. You said if you do this, you're going to end up in heaven or hell, right? But I think correct me if I'm wrong. In the Gita, it's written, right? There's no hell or heaven, whatever it is.
Gita is not said like that.
Oh, okay.
Hato is people have not read Gita. Hatosi jitvat labate pratvi hatosi. If you die, you'll go to Sarga. So you'll get a higher plane. So this people, see, there are a lot of misconceptions which are created by people who don't understand the scriptures. In Sanatana Dharma, so the question here is asked is, in Bhagavad Gita is written that there's nothing called Swarga, nothing called heaven. In Gita, Sri Krishna tells Arjuna, if you win the war, you will enjoy the earth. Means you will become a king. If you die fighting a war, because you are fighting Dharma Yuddha, you will get to Sarga, heaven. Okay. In Sanatana Dharma, there is a concept of 14 level of existence. Lokas, they're called planes. Earth is the middle one. Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Suvarloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka, the higher planes. Higher and higher, more evolved beings are there. The lower planes are there. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Patalatala, Rasatala, Patala in Sanatana Dharma. In Buddhism, they speak of 31 planes of existence. Okay. So do not be under the impression that whatever life you are experiencing is the only life. There are higher order lives and lower order lives. For example, animals are in the lower order life. Okay. There are ghosts, demons in the lower order life. They are there. In the relative plane, all these are real. But in absolute plane, Brahman is only real. When you realize the truth, Brahman only is real. But if you are in the relative plane, there is a levels of existence, relative domain, not in the absolute domain. So that's why Sri Krishna says, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna Mamupetyetu Kaunteya Punarjanmana Vidyate. Krishna says, Brahma Bhuvana Loka. So Brahma Loka to Bhuvana Loka, that means he is speaking of 14 lokas. Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Suvarloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Rasatala, Patala. He says these are all relative existence. They are temporary. When we say temporary, not today appearing tomorrow. Billions and trillions of their last. Life there is temporary. It's in Maya. But if you attain me, if you get self-realization, you'll be freed from this lokas. That's the teaching. So we have to go to original, real scriptural meaning, not interpretation given by somebody. Right? So, and also Sanatana Dharma is very clearly told, every ritual puja, what they do and what is the benefit. There are specific pujas you have to do for going to Sargaloka. That's called Adrishya Phala, unseen. There are Drishya Phala. By doing this, you'll get this benefit. Maybe success in life, maybe children, whatever is that. So like Drishya and Adrishya, there are specific, and there are very, very specific methods of doing it. So you cannot do randomly. It's precise. Okay. The geometry has a meaning. The way you do it a meaning. It's all very precise process of them. Right now, nowadays nobody knows. They don't do it properly. But multi levels of reality is true. Right? So did I answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So there is a question on YouTube. Are religious practices intended to uplifting the Shat Sampatti in Mumukshu? Religious practices are actually what we say. We are born with Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. 3 qualities. Tamoguna means laziness, inertia. Rajoguna means activity. Sattva-guna means knowledge, wisdom, intelligence. So we need to develop an individual. It's called Vyakti Vikasa. So for that, certain practices are designed. They're called Yadna, Havana, Puja. And most of them have twofold nature. One is discipline, and other one is discipline which will bring certain mental framework, mental qualities. And then we have, I told you, harmony, benefits are there. And these are all what we call as worldly benefits, worldly life. In worldly life also, if you have a disciplined mind, you'll be successful. Certain practices bringing divine qualities into life always relate to, all of these relate to physical world, material world. So that is the purpose, what we call having a good samskara to help the individual evolve. See, I know a person who is intensely does sadhana. One of the great upasanas the person does, she does more than 20 years. Getting up at 4:30 in the morning every day, doing certain practices which will take about 2 hours in the morning, and certain way of behavior, certain way of food intake. You have to see that quality which has come in that person's life, the calmness, the joyfulness, mastery over the mind. So that way, these pujas, rituals bring certain quality. We have something called Ayyappa in India, Ayyappa temple. They take up 40 days of what we call as ritual. They'll practice certain celibacy. They'll not eat food in certain way. They'll walk on barefoot. They all bring a lot of intense discipline and devotion. The devotion purifies. It means chitta shuddhi happens. And they do service to each other. It's called service, seva develops. So these are all qualities which are helpful for developing the chitta shuddhi. Initially it's discipline, purity, and then gradually it becomes devotion, chitta shuddhi, seva, karma yoga, which will develop 6 qualities in a human being. It's called shama, dama, titiksha, uparati, shraddha, samadhana, which will prepare somebody for moksha or jnana. So jnana is not given to everybody. Jnana requires certain amount of maturity. So these systems, initially karma kanda for discipline, for benefit, then karma yoga and upasana for chitta shuddhi, and finally jnana. This is a system of education in the society. Is the answer clear? So let us go to next question. Next question is, what is the next question, sir? You asked a question. Why this all this, right? Why this all this variety? Why this game?